Our next type of graph is a box and whiskers plot. Your box and whisker plot is always going to be a model that is drawn above a number line. Okay, your number line is telling you the value of the dots. Okay, so if you look here, you have 1 dot, 2 dots, 3 dots, 4 dots, and 5 dots. So each of these 5 dots represent your 5-number summary. We reviewed this yesterday. Okay, your 5-number summary is made up of a minimum, a Q1, a median, a Q3, and a maximum. So for our dots on this box and whisker plot, the minimum is obviously going to be the value that's farthest to the left because that's where the smaller values are. So up here, your minimum is on that line that is between 14 and 16. So your minimum value here is going to be 15. Your Q1 is the next dot, so that's going to have a value of 20. Your median is the middle dot because that's what median stands for, so that's going to be 22. Q3, again, is this space in between 24 and 26, so Q3 is going to be 25. And your maximum is down here on the value farthest to the right because that's where the larger numbers are, so your maximum has a value of 30. So your 5-number summary creates a box and whisker plot because in the middle, we create 2 boxes to connect the 3 dots, and then we draw these lines on the end to make the whiskers. Okay, they're not always going to be drawn the same size because they are designed to model the data and how close or how far apart it is. Now, if you think back to yesterday with our 5-number summary, we were talking about how you could use your hand to represent the 5 spots. Your hand has 4 spaces. So the 4 spaces are right here. So space 1 is that line. Space 2 is this first box. Space 3 is the second box. And space 4 is the second line. Now, if we took our data and separated it into 4 groups, or if we always took our data and divided it into quarters, that means that each of these sections has to represent 25% of the data. That doesn't mean there's 25 numbers in there. It just means that it's 1/4 of the total. Okay, so each little section could just be 2 numbers. It could be 5 numbers, but we don't know. We just know that it's 25% of the data. Okay, so using that to continue answering our questions, question number 2 asks what percent of the racers finished the race in 22 or more minutes. So there's 2 ways to think about this. 22 or more is right here. Okay, that 22 is our median. So the median is the middle. So if we cut our data in half, okay, that means that half of the data is between 22 and 30. If we're talking about 1/2, that means that is 50% of the data. In other words, it's made up of 1 box and 1 whisker to get a total of 50% or half of the data that is in this model. Question number 3 is asking for the range. Okay, so this is where we do the biggest number minus the smallest number. So looking at our box and whisker plot, the highest number where a dot is 30. So we have 30 minus the smallest value down here, which was 15. So the total range is 15 minutes. The other type of range that's specific to the box and whisker plot is that interquartile range. So this interquartile range, the range still means we're going to subtract, but this time we're going to subtract the quartiles, or Q3 minus Q1. So up here in the model, Q3 has a value of 25, and Q1 has a value of 20, and 25 minus 20 means the IQR is 5. Same thing with your histograms. Your box and whisker plots don't tell you which values are between or inside these ranges. They just tell you that there are numbers in there. The only way for you to figure out which ones they are is if you are for some reason given a list or a frequency table.